Coach, I got to start off by saying thank you. Your mentioning of Cool Hand Luke last week got me to watch the movie over the weekend. I had never seen Cool Hand Luke.
Not gonna lie, I didn't know that's where you were going with the thank you.
Well, it was great. Paul Newman and George Kennedy. It was awesome. I'd never seen Cool Hand Luke.
I have an admission to make. I've never seen it.
Have you? You just know the phrase.
There's a coach that was with us at Cedar Shoals, and he was begging me to watch it. And he's like an old school guy. I didn't watch it.
It's rated.
Sounds cool.
It's rated PG, but in a way that only movies in the '60s were rated PG. Like, I don't think it would have gotten a PG rating today. But yeah, it was fun. It was a good movie.
Oh, good. Well, you're welcome.
I would assume that while you haven't watched that, you've started to watch the film from yesterday, and I'd imagine your reaction was also pretty positive.
Yeah. I'm like mostly through the fourth quarter, so latter half of the fourth quarter right now. Now I get to come down here, but yeah, this is great. So,
how'd your defense play yesterday?
You could just watch it with us, Coach. If you need to do that and just kind of break down play by play, do all that, you're more than welcome.
Is that recorded or is that like
probably?
No, we did a lot of great things yesterday on defense. The guys played extremely hard, physical, together, determined. All those things. Thought all the things we talk about in order to win the game, we did those things, and just proud of the mentality, really, for the whole our whole team. So yeah, just proud of the effort. I think what the guys are seeing is like, hey, the process, how we do it throughout the week, that gives you the confidence kind of going onto the field. We're all on the same page, and just keep doing it. We've done it kind of off and on throughout the year, and then we've hit the 3-game, ramp here. And so, hey, like, what kind of defense do we want to be? Do we want to be hot and cold, or do you want to? Is this our calling card? Is this the standard that we're going to live up to every week, from now until whenever? So, I think the guys know the answer to that and where they feel, but that's definitely what the mentality needs to be.
Did you kind of play purposely the little okey doke? Call that timeout on 4th and 1 after the ball got knocked down because you knew what was going to happen next? Was that kind of one of those moments?
Yeah, just really high-powered stuff right there.
Do you want to hear? You want to hear? We usually wait till late in the interview, but I want to kind of tee you up with this because you watched it in person. It happened early enough in the game that you watched the pick six. We watch it on TV. We listened to the great Steve Rabel, who just cranked it up for this amazing pick six yesterday. But I would love to kind of walk through that play after we fire a little Steve Rabel here for you. I think the earliest in any interview. Here was Rabes and Wyman on that pick six call yesterday.
At the 40, Murray under center this time. Play fake. Murray's going to try to get it. He's going to run far side. He's going to dump it over the top. Intercepted. Coby Bryant. Far sideline. He's got some blockers. 30, 25, 20, 10, 5. Touchdown. Seahawks.
Awesome, right? Awesome highlight. Awesome on the radio. Awesome on TV. Can you take me through all the things that went into that awesomeness on the actual coaching tape?
Man, guys just playing extremely hard with just a decision that those guys made that like we're gonna defend a blade of grass, and executing what we had game planned and just playing. I mean, there's just got great players being great players. I mean, John and I were just joking like. I mean, that was one of the coolest plays ever. If you just watched Devon Witherspoon that entire play, I know I got the penalty end, but it's like at that point it's kind of costing you a business, even though it cost us the point. The guys' RPMs are revving at like 6,000 RPMs for like 20 seconds. It's unbelievable. The guy's absolute animal.
How hard is it to do what he did at the beginning of that play, crashing in, recognizing, and then getting out onto the edge to get in Kyler Murray's?
Like I said last night, it's a combination of like who he is as a player and then just like the football awareness, and just the spirit of, hey, like, we're defending. I mean, it's just like you got to earn absolutely everything, and we're not, you got to come through us, man. But yeah, it was an unbelievable play. He's got several of those this year, so we love him.
How about Tyrese Knight on that play?
Originally, without getting all the schematics, I mean, Spoon's kind of doing triple duty on that one. So But yeah, I mean, all the guys are playing extremely hard, doing their job, and when that happens, the ball comes to life, and then, you know, we talk about getting into plus mode after you pick the ball off, and I just love the mentality. You know, as soon as Coby gets his hand on Julian Love, got a great block. I don't know who else got great blocks, but we got several to spring Coby free.
We spent an inordinate amount of time, Salk and I did, on a comment, just a small little sentence you said to us about guys that love ball. And then we took it to Daniel Jeremiah, and he gave us some kind of scout study on how he went about that, all his years in scouting doing that. That's one level of it, right? And certainly we've exhausted it when it comes to Spoon and others, and just you feel it, right? Their love for ball.
Yep.
Mike, what about instincts? Because that, to me, Salk's question kind of teed you up, like to have the instincts in that moment to, you know, how do you, and how important in your scheme and in football in general, or is the instinctive part to being a player as well?
Man, that's a great point. I think it's extremely important. You know, I think it's really important. I mean, there's some guys that are really productive that kind of just go and make plays. Those I have a hard time thinking of people off the top of my head, frankly. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, how do you measure that? It's just, I mean, a lot of it's ball production. You can see it on the tape. You kind of it's anecdotally from the people that coach them and their players. A lot of the players actually they kind of know who the players always know who the good players are and the ones that, you know, come to life and stuff. But yeah, instincts are incredibly important. I think they're not mutually exclusive. For guys with the love of the game, you know, if you love ball, you're always around it, you're watching it. You know, you start to see kind of things in slow motion because you just seen so much, and so it works hand in hand. But yeah, those are it's a great trait to have.
Do you have a favorite way of trying to determine ahead of time which guys fall into that category of loving ball?
What's the question? How do you know?
Essentially, before they're here, trying to get a sense of acquiring the types of guys that are going to play.
Well, I think
category.
You know, you look at our track record of who we've brought in over our history too. I think there's a lot of commonalities there. I mean, you can rattle off all the great players that have played here, and they come in all shapes and sizes and personalities, and you know, to a man, I think all those guys fall in that category. You know. So it's not like that we're inventing this is anything new. It's just, you know, the way that we want to operate from day to day. We're going to do football a lot, and if you're going to do it a lot, you better love it. Otherwise, you're not going to have a lot of fun here, and you're probably not going to get much better. So that's the thought behind it.
And then when you do, go ahead, Brock. Well, just when you do, and you get everybody firing, as you said there, it felt like yesterday, Mike, that was the most anticipatory your defense has been. And maybe that's after the fact, that's easy to say, but it felt like time and again, stuffing the run and being on top of routes and details and in Kyler's face. Was that some of the best anticipatory defense you guys have played this season?
Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. I think it's also, I mean, we're talking about, you know, we have consistency in the people that are on the field and the preparation, and we're kind of getting into a groove of what we want it to look like on a day-to-day basis. And then so when that happens and you kind of hit those landmarks every day, that gives you confidence, man. You know, and then you have success from as a result of what you're putting in, and so now you know we got to stick to that formula of what it takes to go play fast, you know, and play with, to your point, Brock, play with anticipation. It's the whole team, you know. I know we're talking about defense a lot. You guys are probably going to ask about offense, but offensively, I know the stats probably, you know, they're not there yet, and you know the production is not there. But I mean, it's not like we're just coaching the defense, and we're not. We're coaching the whole team the same here, special teams the same way. So we're working through that right now. We're in those building blocks, those building stages where I feel like you can start to. You can feel some stuff where it's hey, there's some confidence building here. You know, it's a detail here, a detail there, a call here, a call there, and you know, I think we'll start to create some more consistency and some more explosives.
We will get to the offense here in a minute or two. I promised myself that I would not wait this long to ask you about Leonard Williams. I promised myself he would be my first question today because I feel like we've kind of given him short shrift throughout the year and not spent enough time talking about him. But when you play a game like he did yesterday, it just kind of smacks you in the face.
Yep.
What did he do so impressively yesterday?
Well, I'm happy. I'm really happy for Leonard because this guy's been working extremely hard the whole year, and I think he's been playing at a dominant level the whole year. But the stats definitely haven't really mirrored, feel like how he's playing. So now the stats start to generate. Now you feel like, okay, I mean, this guy's deserved this type of recognition, playing at this level. I think if you asked him, he'd probably set his teammates up. I mean, this guy. I mean, he's winning one up, but like. You got to win rushes, and the quarterback has to be in the right spot. So guys have to balance rushes out. I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on there, like I talked about last night, where it's a lot of unselfish, like team football going on. And then that's when like guys, traits and talents and all that kind of stuff comes to light and starts to shine even more because now when you win, it's like you can win. It's not like you win and the quarterback's out. So if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. So like I thought the whole front played a great game. I mean, everyone's through their role really excelled, and then to have Leo, get the production that he got was cool to see. Obviously,
along those lines, another guy that we've not talked about a ton is Robertson Harris, who you guys acquired part of the way into the year. We've talked over the years about the importance of depth on the defensive line, being able to rotate those guys through so that they stay fresh.
Yep.
And you look at it. Leo's been in the game for a while. Jaron Reed's obviously a veteran. Hankins been in the game for a while. I mean, everyone other than Byron's an older veteran, quote unquote. Uh-huh. Even more important to add someone like Robertson Harris to that mix to keep everybody fresh of this group.
Yeah, guys like when I made that comment, I'm thinking of guys like Roy. Like he's excelling he's starring in his role, and he's affecting the game, and he's helping our defense. And that's extremely important. Like, if he doesn't do that, that doesn't set up all the other stuff. So it all works together. I mean, I thought Jaron Reed played a dynamite game. I mean, there's a couple runs where, he's going primary, secondary, and a block, and tackling a guy, and he doesn't get any more yards at 3 or 4 yards. Well, now it's a huge difference when you're at 2nd and 7, 2nd and 6 versus 2nd and 4, and just because those things, and then how he sets up games. I don't know what his production, I don't know what his stat line was, but I felt like he affected the game big time yesterday.
Last defensive one before we'll flip to the other side. If Ernest Jones is Cool Hand Luke, who is Coby Bryant?
Man, I got to think about that one. There's a good one out there, but it's somebody cool,
How about
no, I mean, like Kobe's a great example. Kobe's a great example of a guy that of just kind of how we want to build this thing. It's like, hey, come in, work, compete, do the things every day, stack all the great reps, get the confidence, get an opportunity, take advantage, and run with it, and then let your abilities kind of just go from there. And then to his credit, this guy's prepared at an elite level, and since he got the starting job, really before, we're trying to get him on a dime, and then when he got the opportunity to play safety, he just took it and ran with it. And it was just like, man, this is what it's about, man. This guy's doing a heck of a job. So we're excited for him.
How good a communicator is he on the field? You've told us that the safeties and linebackers are a big part of that.
The two safeties are doing a phenomenal job right now. They're doing a phenomenal job. And then EJ with the green dot, communicating, especially when things are, we put a lot on his plate with the communication. I'm not sure how relative to other teams, but we give it a lot to those guys. And, those three guys in particular are just right now, they're doing a phenomenal job.
How would you characterize the offense yesterday, just based on the game tape you've watched to this point?
Right now, it's winning football. I mean, we won the game the way we played. I know it like the low-hanging fruit is like, hey, we threw the pick in the red zone. There's a couple penalties that got us behind the sticks. The ball's in jeopardy a few times. We didn't get the explosives that we were looking at getting. But, I mean, you look at the other side, I think our run game is still making strides. I think we kind of know who we are in the run game and the compliments off of it. We just got to keep hammering it away. It's going to come to life. I mean, there's some really cool stuff on tape. I really believe that, and so I'm excited about where we're going.
Do you think some of this too, Mike? Sorry to cut you off. Is just also all of us got to remember that Ryan Grubb is doing this at the NFL level for the first time. Scott Huff is doing this at the NFL level. That's not to make an excuse nor an explanation, but like he's done college for all of his life, and to come to this league where it is harder to run the ball, it is harder to move men off of their spot. Is there also a learning curve that he's climbing?
Well, I wouldn't say it's because it's college and NFL. I think it's just, hey, we're a first year. The whole staff is a first year staff. Literally none of us. I mean, like there's maybe 4 or 5 of us that have worked together with some sort of connection at some point. So there's all these little connecting dot points that you got to make throughout the year and go through all these situations so you can be on the same page about all the things. And it's not an excuse. I mean, like we're going against these teams but you got to get through that type of stuff. And I think that's what our staff is doing. That's what our football team's doing. We're at different paces throughout the year. We've done a lot of great things on offense, especially situationally. I really believe our run game is coming along, and Ryan's doing a great job of mobilizing the staff and aligning it and putting game plans together and getting our guys ready to play. So, yeah, I mean, I'm optimistic. Now there's some things we obviously got to clean up. I mean, it's very similar conversations we had when we felt like we were falling short on defense. Of hey, we just got to keep working through these things, keep focusing on the right things to make right, rather than just being, you want to be targeted with this stuff rather than just these blank slate changes and all this. Just keep moving and shifting and veering, towards where you want it to be, and eventually it's we're gonna get to where we want to go. I mean, that's just what we believe in. So we're going to keep doing it.
When your defense was struggling, especially to stop the run, you were pretty transparent and clear, second level. I mean, you kind of talked through what some of those problems were.
Yeah.
Do you have a sense similarly of what the problems are or those challenges are right now with your run game?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say problem. You're just like, hey, on this play, I think we can run the track better. On this play, our footwork's a little funky on the front side of a double team, and then sometimes it's the back side of the play. So I'd think like an easy way to answer your thing is just like keep hammering away in the detail of what we expect on each play, and then just trust it, and then just let's keep going. And then in terms of schemes that we're running, I think we're finding some consistency in the schemes that we're running. So we're building this like rep foundation of just like getting you. It's just like on defense, like you can call cover 4, twice a game. You're not gonna be very good at it. You start calling it multiple times a game, the guys start feeling it. That's the whole reason why you practice in the off season, so you can get used to these things. It's not easy to kind of ID the run game in the spring because it's more of like a passing thing. So we're just kind of later in the process of finding our stride here in the run game. But it's better late than never. I think we're on our way.
How did Olu and Christian come out of that thing? Christian thrown in the fire with Anthony's injury early, and Olu making his second start. How did those two guys in the middle do?
Yeah, I haven't finished the game yet, but I was pleased with what Christian came in and did. He had one clean loss that sticks out, but the guy, I know this about him. He's going to go in there. He's going to fight. He's going to play hard. Some of the technique things and his targets and how he can change on some of the change direction stuff. Like we'll attack that type of thing. But the thing that I'm pleased about is he goes in there with bad intentions and plays hard, communicates, and we'll go try to fix the rest.
Jaxon Smith-Njigba over the last 3 weeks, sort of the way the defense has almost gotten a little bit better each week. It feels like he's on a similar kind of trajectory. How good can he end up being?
Man, that's a hard question. He's just a heck of a player. I mean, this guy, we've been saying it since we got here. So this is not new for him. This is like as expected from our minds. Like this guy is a big time receiver in our league. He can be the top level guy in the league. Simple. But we got, just like we said. But DK's he's demanding big time attention to him when he's on the field. And so the whole thing works together, where Jax can do his thing because DK's demanding time, so when they take away, people off of DK, that's when we can get DK going. And we did a good job of finding him a couple times last night. I'd love to get him the ball, more on some of the explosive stuff and taking advantage of some of the structures that teams are playing against us. But we'll keep hammering that away. I thought we had a great plan to get it to him. Some of the protection stuff, we just didn't have enough time to give him the ball. So we'll work through some of that stuff today on why the ball didn't necessarily find DK as much as we wanted to. But yeah, Jaxon is he's playing at a really high level right now.
Salk knows this about me through all of our years together. We've stacked a lot of shows together, like 16 years of it almost.
Nice.
And he knows that he knows that one of the things that I always listen to, especially Mike in my coaches meetings and out on the college football road, is when people repeat themselves. And a couple times today, you've used the word confidence. And I think to the listener out there, they're like, well, you're in the NFL. Of course you should be confident. Like, confidence should be something like with a junior high or a first-time player. These are NFL players. And to hear you talk about confidence, that still is a real thing, is it not? Even for these guys at this level with all of their previous accomplishments.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. But, Brock, I see it as like that's our responsibility as coaches to breed that for our guys. So that's kind of like a burden that we have to bear as a coaching staff. But, I mean, don't you want a confident football team? Like, how do you create confidence? Well, it's got to be clear. Expectations have to be clear. You have to have been put in that situation and done it. Hopefully it's in a tough situation that you can simulate in practice or outside or back in the game or been in the game and gone through it, or maybe you've fallen short, but you feel like now you've made the remedy to it, so now you're ready to kind of make it right. So I think all that stuff goes into it, but I think as coaches we have to have the mentality that like that's our responsibility.
Man, and your sideline demeanor yesterday, you were pumping fists, you were jumping up in the air, you gave like a Tiger Woods. I think
watch
after
film
that
on that later
six.
to kind of see how you looked.
Now, so now I know that the camera's on me all the time. So if I do it, I'd always like turn away, like towards our guys. It's like it's not for everybody; it's for our guys. I don't know if that's right or not, but that's what I'm thinking.
You a big Thanksgiving guy?
No.
No,
we're working. I mean, we don't work on like for half of Thanksgiving. We don't work, but it's cool, I guess.
it's like fine, whatever. Not a turkey guy. Stuffing.
I mean, it's good. Like in the moment, yeah. Thanksgiving, it's great. Not thinking about it until Thursday.
All right. I told you that's what he was going to say, Brock.
You
told me he was going to be a big Thanksgiving guy. So no, he's not.
I'm way more of a Christmas guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Christmas. How do you not love Christmas? It's the best.
And how about being a dad guy here? It's coming around the corner kind of fast, huh?
Yeah. Don't confuse hope for a plan.
Will you work through that?
Well, that's what I'm alluding to. My wife's a saint, so she's supportive. But I don't know what I'm going to do, frankly. I don't know.
I mean, the kid's not going to come on a Sunday, right?
No.
He knows better than that.
Coach, it was a lot of fun yesterday, and it's pretty rare to only allow 6 points in an NFL game. How impressive a feat is that before we let you go here?
Well, I mean, a lot of things have to go right for you to do that. I mean, we drew a holding penalty on one of the touchdowns, or the touchdown that they scored and they took off the board. We played the fade ball to Harrison really well on the red. You got to play really good situational defense. Field position really matters. Like, you got to be able to take the ball away at some point. So, at one point in the game, like, field position was kind of tilting their way. So you got to kind of get out of that rut and get the ball moving. And then, when you do have them pinned back in negative territory, I thought our guys did a tremendous job. Like, at the end of the half, in backed up situations we really haven't done a great job of throughout the year, of kind of making sure that they didn't get the drives going. So now our offense, has a tilted field. And so if you kind of keep the ball in their area, that should, keep points down and keep explosives down, then it's going to be hard for them to move the ball. So I know I just go back to it is a team stat of taking care of the ball for the most part, keeping the ball in their area of the field, eliminating explosives, playing team football. But yeah, it was a special day for sure.
We'll let you get back to the film, finish watching,
Appreciate that.
Trip to New York this weekend.
Yep.
We'll talk to you on Monday.
All right, guys. Happy Thanksgiving.
There you go.
There you go. Thanksgiving guy.
There's Coach Macdonald every day following the games.